What's going on, everyone? TM24 Plays here, and we are back with some more Marvel Snap content. Today, I'm going to go over a deck that I've been using these past couple of days, and I've had some pretty good success climbing with it. So I'm going to break down some of the play lines, some of the cards, the choices, why I've got them in there, and just kind of go over this deck and why I feel that it is a very good deck right now, given the the current state of the meta. So let's get right into kind of breaking these options down. First option here, right? We're looking at, Sunspot Armor. Sunspot, best one drop in the game. Armor, his personal protector. You want to get those down. So, next up, we've got a couple of 3 drops to help us cheat out some of our bigger cards. Electro, Wave are the ones I'm talking about. I prefer to go Electro just because I really do like that extra energy. That is continuous, and for this first line, that's the only way that it'll really work, is getting Electro down. Now you could always cheat out, maybe say a Dr. Doom and then Odin him on 6, something like that, but let's just talk about this first line, right? So you're getting Sunspot down on 1, Armor on 2. Ideally, you get Electro down on 3, Sandman on 4. So that Sandman's going to prevent your opponent from playing multiple cards. You're already restricted because of Electro, so ideally that's perfect, right? Turn 5, then, you're able to play Dr. Doom because you have that extra energy from Electro. Remember, this won't work if you play Wave on 3. So, 5, Dr. Doom comes down. 6, Odin on top of Dr. Doom, and you get those, those Doom bots at those other lanes as well. This line is really strong. It seems to spread out the power a bit. It's tough for other decks to catch up if they're only playing 1 card at a time and you're adding 1 card to each lane over the last 2 turns, to kind of just outpace them. Now the second line here, obviously we're going Sunspot Armor. This one, you can kind of do it a couple different ways. I still prefer Electro to Wave, again, because we get that extra energy. So in this scenario, I love to go Electro on 3, Nimrod on 4, Galactus on 5. Now you'll see I have a couple different cards listed here in this second line, and there are so many lines with this deck that really it just depends on what your opponent's giving you in front of you and what you have in your hand. But I love to go Electro, Nimrod, Galactus, and then whatever else you need to win the game. Maybe you're using Shuri to double up an armor to get an extra 8 power. Maybe you just need your armor. Maybe maybe you're just slamming down a destroyer, and that 15 is going to be, better than the 7 you had. So you've got a couple different options here in order to finish this out. Now with this line, because your finisher is Galactus, you really do have a couple options, right? So I really like to go the, maybe it's Electro into Shuri into Nimrod, and turn 6 is Galactus. That way, you have a 10 power Nimrod joining your Galactus onto his lane. You have 12 power. Ideally, that's more than whatever they've got placed down. So I kind of like that line as well. Kind of the surprise factor. Nimrod comes down, and it feels really good. Now this third option, it's a little tough, right? Because let's say you don't hit Wave, you don't hit Electro, so you can't get any of your big cards out there. That's kind of why I've got Storm in here as well. It's a little bit more control. So again, you'd love to get Sunspot Armor down. If you don't get those, obviously you're skipping. If you get one or the other, you're playing them when you can. Now 3, you're storming. Now if you get Sunspot and Armor down, you want to storm that lane that they're on. And then what I love to do is play Shuri right into that lane. So ideally, you have Sunspot Armor, you storm that lane, and then you play Shuri on top of it, and then you're skipping 5. Turn 6, you've got a 30 power destroyer to place wherever you like. Your other cards are protected, and that feels pretty good. Now, because of the flexibility with this deck, there are just so many different ways you can go, right? Let's say you get Electro down on 3. Great. You can play Nimrod on 4. You don't have Galactus, but you do have Destroyer. You play Destroyer, he destroys Nimrod. Nimrod goes and floods those other locations. All of a sudden, you're looking at a location where potentially you've got, 20 power with a Destroyer and a Nimrod, 5 at another location, and then 1's empty. Or maybe you've got 15, 5, and 5, and that still feels pretty good. If you're able to get rid of the Electro, you still have the extra energy as well. So you've kind of got options. Odin's great in here as well because he kind of works with Shuri, Doctor Doom, and maybe even Destroyer, right? Maybe you get armor down, you play Nimrod at one point, you get Destroyer, he destroys Nimrod, and then you Odin your Destroyer so that he destroys Nimrod again. So there are just so many options here. We are going to try and play through each of these lines at least once for y'all, but let's go over these cards and kind of why we've got them and, just kind of take a look at these. So first up, Sunspot. Obviously, he is the best one-drop in the game. He can solo a lane if you let him build high enough. Now, it's kind of crucial to have his buddy there, number 2, Armor, the Sunspot Protector, but, Armor also works to protect maybe a buffed Destroyer, or maybe a buffed, Sandman, something like that. You've got options here, and Armor's great at kind of protecting those options. Now, 3, Electro, he's just your ramp. He gives you that extra energy. We have 2 different 5-drops that you're looking to kind of hit for your turn 4. So Sandman, Nimrod, getting them down on 4 feels great. Storm, she's control. It allows you to kind of shut off a lane. Let's say you end up getting, Electro down on 4 on top of that Storm lane. So 5, you can go Doom, it still reaches that lane. 6, you go Odin, it still reaches that lane. So even if you cut it off, you can still get to that lane. Same thing with Nimrod. Nimrod could hit that lane. Obviously, maybe, you're destroying the other things, but maybe having Nimrod is better than having just Storm and Shuri there, or just Storm and, Wave there, something like that. So Storm's great. She cuts off one of their options. Obviously, it gives you a little bit of location control as well. So that's why I've included Storm in this list. Now, Wave, she is just an energy cheat, right? So she allows us to get, maybe it's an early Galactus, maybe it's an early Doctor Doom, maybe it's an early Destroyer, but she allows you to get your power out there early and force your opponent to kind of respond. Shuri, she's just too good, I think, to not include in, pretty much any list right now. Doubling up the power on pretty much any card feels insane, and when you can, proc that effect again with an Odin or something like that, it feels great. Nimrod, as I kind of explained a little bit, he's flexible, gives you option, and he's power, right? So the more times you destroy him, the better. In this case, typically you're only destroying him once, either with Galactus or Destroyer, but as I kind of explained with the Destroyer Odin line, obviously I don't have that one up there. Like I said, there are too many lines to go over, but theoretically you could destroy him a couple of times. Next up, Galactus. I still feel Galactus is one of the best 6-drops in the game, and I've won far more games when I've played him than I've lost. So for me, he is great to include in this list, especially because you can get him out early. Doctor Doom, he is just power, and as you can see by the way I typed his power there, it's spread out. Ideally, you're getting him procced twice. So you're adding 10 and 10 plus his 5. So you're adding 25 power over 2 turns plus an Odin. That feels really, really good. Odin, he's your second Doom, your second Shuri, your second Destroyer. Odin helps a lot in this deck. And maybe you just need to go the Sandman route. And, Odin's proccing Doctor Doom. Or maybe you're going with Shuri and then your last turn is, a 30 power Destroyer. Odin kind of enables a couple different lines as well. And then Destroyer is just your power, but also he's there to, maybe he's destroying Nimrod, maybe he's destroying Electro so that you can play multiple cards on, your turn 6 there. So Destroyer is one of my favorite 6-drops in the game, and I feel like he really kind of fits in with this deck pretty well. So that's kind of why I've got these cards in this deck. Those are kind of the 3 main lines I've seen. I know I kind of put a lot in there, but that's just because they can be played. There's just so many different lines. I don't think you could put them all in there. But we are going to get into some gameplay, so let's hop right into it. All right, we're just going to hop into some gameplay here with the Sandman, Nimrod, Electro deck that we kind of just went over. So hopefully, look at this. This looks pretty good already. We have the ideal opening in Sunspot Armor. Obviously, we don't really like the Dream Dimension because it's going to increase the cost of our cards here, but You know, maybe we can get around that by getting Electro down or cheating something else out early. Armor coming down to protect our Sunspot. They played armor into the middle lane. They also played an Ant-Man, so they got a couple of ongoing cards here. So looking a little different here. We do get Wave. So with Wave now, we kind of want to keep our 2 lanes open so that we can play Galactus at either of them. Right now, it's looking like that is going to be the line we're taking. We're just going to try and get Galactus down. Monster Metropolis feels like a good spot to put him. So we're going to go ahead and slam Galactus onto that lane. The reason we're going to do that is because we can always go Shuri next turn. Oh, they played a Dr. Doom. So they actually have priority here. And I prefer my opponent to have priority when we only have 1 lane. I would rather respond to what he has. Now, of course, if he's, you know, blocking us with a Cosmo or something like that, it hurts. But I always like to respond rather than, you know, have my stuff answered. So we are going to get Shuri down here. Mojo comes out, as does Quinjet. All right, we do not hit Destroyer like I would have liked, but a 16 power Odin's going to be, look at that. That's going to be good enough for him to get on out of there, and we're going to take this first dub. So we use Wave Galactus to get it out. Shuri comes down. He's got no way to answer, and we're going to get that dub. All right, hopping into our next one. Let's see what we've got here. We have Wave Galactus again. We also have Death's Domain. So just to kind of point this out, that's kind of why we have Storm in here, because we can now take this lane. Yes, I know we have armor, so we would have been fine, but it gives us another option. And I don't want to use my armor there because it helps them. I'd rather surprise them with our Storm and then be free to kind of play, you know, however we like. We do end up hitting a Vormir as well, so we've got a couple locations here that are really tough for us to play on. It might just be the smartest decision just to get Galactus down again, but I kind of like that we could take this lane. Let's see if we can. I'm not sure. We're going to go ahead and slam Wave, give ourselves some options here. They get Maria Hill. What else they got? And Quinjet. So they're doing a pretty good job right now, kind of collecting cards here. All right, we could try something a little tricky here. I mean, we can go Galactus here. And then maybe, you know, turn 6. Hopefully he's got priority. And his things get destroyed, and we just go ahead and slam Storm, and we win the game that way. So that's another option as well. You've got cards here that allow you to be a little bit flexible with what you're going to do. So obviously Galactus is going to go down to Death's Domain. And now we've got to see what they're able to do here. Obviously we don't want to help them, so we're going to skip this turn. I'd love for them to have priority again. I'm not sure if it's going to work out that way. It might flip back unless he's able to play something here. He plays Nick Fury. All right. All right, so he still has priority. So I'm going to assume that whatever he plays is getting destroyed. Luckily for us, we have Storm, we have armor. So ideally, his things go down right here, and we should get the dub. A little sneaky way to get a win, but I guess it depends on what he plays first. If he's got his own armor, then, you know, we might be in trouble depending on what he combines that with. Let's see what he does, though. He's hanging around, so he must be thinking, but, you know, this should be an easy decision for him. Either he's got something that will survive Death's Domain or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, right, then I would assume he's just going to leave. Otherwise, it's going to be a tie. The fact that it's taken him this long, you know, I'm not quite sure what he's thinking. Maybe he's just not quite sure how one of the cards work, but we're just going to let this run down and see what happens. And just like that, the location control of Storm is going to allow us to kind of steal this game right here. So something he wasn't able to come up with, but we go ahead and we get it done, and that feels really, really good. So as you kind of saw in that last game, we're able to control some of these locations as well. And look at that, we hit Electro this time. We have Wave as well. We've got a lot of our lower cost cards. No Sunspot to speak of. And we're not going to help him out by playing armor on top of his. Oh, he's running some sort of a Sandman deck as well. That's good to know. That definitely gives me a little bit of insight into what he's got going on. Maybe we are going to clog up this lane because right now, looking at our hand, turn 2, we can play armor here. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Turn 3, we could play wave, but then what do we wave out? Turn 4, Shuri. Turn 5, I'd love to get Nimrod down. So let's go ahead and play a couple cards here. We're going to play on top of him because we want to fill this lane and leave one open for a Galactus play here. So it probably won't be that lane. He might actually even end up playing there. So the fact that he might end up going for that, let's go to Sokovia. And just like that, we've cut off one other lane. Maximus comes down. That's great for us. Let's see. So we could actually probably steal back the vault here. If we play Shuri here. Oh, so he passed on that. That's interesting. He just letting his Sunspot grow. Cards cannot be played here on turn 6. We know that. Maybe he's playing. What could he be playing? He could be playing like She-Hulk here. Luckily, we're still okay. It's Arrow, so they're pulling over there. That's fine. We are not worried about that. Shang-Chi comes out and Wave comes down. So, it looks like we're in trouble here, but we do have Destroyer. So we can go ahead and toss Destroyer down, and we're going to add 25 to this lane on turn 6. If he Cosmos us, we're in trouble, but then maybe we win this lane. So we feel like we're in a good spot. We're going to go ahead and snap, and let's see if we can get this done. He probably thinks he stopped us because he arrowed our Nimrod over, but that's actually perfectly fine because Destroyer should take him out for us. Playing Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom throws those across, but our Destroyer is going to come through, delete multiple things, send our Nimrod to the flooded zone and to join us on Grand Central, and we are going to take another dub. Again, just a different way you can win, so you have a ton of flexibility with this deck, and it feels really, really good. Hey there, sorry to interrupt the video. Just wanted to pop in real quick to say thank you for watching. If you've liked the video, thank you for that. If you haven't, why not? I mean, it's free. But if you've liked what you've seen so far, please go ahead and just hit that subscribe button, as it really does help me out. But for now, let's get back to the video. Here we go. Nisakir'd. Oh, we got Electro. Okay. Oh, we got Wave as well. I think I like the idea of getting Electro down here. Is that NSA Kiro? Nisakiro. Nisakir'd. Human Torch. Is this a movement deck? Haven't seen too many movement decks recently. Shuri. Turn 5, cards cost 1 more. Man, I really dislike the Dream Dimension. Messing up my plans here. Alright. The hub. Pick up an Iron Fist. That's interesting. I think we still just want to get Electro down. Yeah, that seems fine. I was contemplating whether to put him like over here or something, but I guess I'm just not quite sure. Alright, what's going on? You're taking forever, my friend. We got Cloak. That's actually not terrible because we can move Electro as well and free up the hub. pick up Nimrod too. Maybe we go for the like. Oh no, can we get? Yeah, we can still get Nimrod down next turn. So maybe we do that. Maybe it's too telegraphed, but I don't hate this idea here. What does he got there? Spider-Man. It's gonna be tough for him to play, right? So we are gonna get Nimrod down here. That's gonna be a 10 power, and then we'll Galactus this lane over here. So we should have 12 power with Nimrod. Hopefully he plays like Heimdall and just shoves everything left. Multiple man. I mean, 10 power is a lot. I wonder if he thinks that's all we're going to do there. Let's see if we catch him off here. See if he's expecting the turn 6 Galactus. We are way behind. I mean, total power is semi-close just because of Shuri, but he's got, 4 power and an 8 power lead. So we gotta hope Galactus pulls us back here. He also doesn't know what else we have, so he doesn't know if Space Throne's gonna be fine for him or not. He does go first, so I guess we get to see what happens, and I mean we'll know as soon as his cards come down whether or not we win this game. Is 12 power on just the hub enough to get it done, I guess is the question. 10 power might be tough for a movement deck to beat. So he might just kind of reinforce those 2 lanes that he has. And if that's the case, we're in trouble. He's taking his time thinking. I like it. Trying to plan out his plays here. Arrow. Oh, man. That's unfortunate. Unless Nimrod doubles up. Now, does that one goes first. So we're going to get 2 Nimrods. So we're going to get this win, actually. Let's go. That's going to feel really, really nice. Look at that. Not 12, 22. And we get the job done. So a turn 6 Galactus gets us that dub. Let's go. All right. We've got Wave. We've got Armor. We've got Odin, Shuri. We could do some damage with this here. There's Nimrod as well. Let's get Armor down. I guess the question is, what's the best play here? I mean, we have the clear line of Shuri, Nimrod, Galactus. I kind of like that. Whoever has the least power here wins. What's he playing there? Don't tell me it's a Mr. Negative. Wow, lucky boy. Lucky boy. Let's get Shuri down. I know we're waving right into Shuri, so it doesn't make a ton of sense, but I still want to get her down. I feel like we're going to have to go with some sort of a Galactus play here. Hopefully we have enough on Asgard to draw those cards we need in order to get there. But if we can get Shuri down now, that's not going to do anything. There's Destroyer. Oh, wow. We could go Destroyer. I mean, we should pick up Galactus here, yeah. So this one would go down first. Let's go ahead and put Nimrod there. I mean, this is, this is such a strong line, right? Wolfsbane. Because what does he play there that beats it, right? Maybe he plays onto Asgard thinking he's got a better shot there. But, I mean, we can just throw Galactus and throw everything else out the door, and we get the dub. I mean, that just seems so strong. Holy cow. I mean, all of a sudden, boom, we've got 12 power, and actually we've got 22 power. That's just dirty. But I think this is a good spot to call it. As you can see, there's so many different lines of play that you can take here. This deck feels really, really strong right now. It seems to be able to counter a bunch of the decks out there. So I would say give it a shot and let me know how it goes. But until next time, remember, have some fun.